Hey everyone, welcome back for another weekly astrology video for the week of January 19th to 25th, 2026. So this week we're coming off the back of a Capricorn new moon, and we've also just had Venus enter Aquarius, which is important because we have a number of planets all entering Aquarius this week, which I'm really looking forward to. Being an Aquarius rising myself, there's a lot of Aquarius energy this week. Significantly more of one sign than we typically see in any other week, or at least any other week that I've covered so far on this channel. So we have a lot of astrology going on, a number of sextiles and trines, but we also have the sun going into Aquarius, so Aquarius season is beginning, and then we have Mercury going into Aquarius. We had Venus just go in as of last week, and then we have Mars going into Aquarius, but we also have Pluto sitting there already, where it's spending about 20 years, so it's already 1 year into that part of its cycle. So this week we have a number of sextiles and trines going on among Uranus and Saturn and Neptune. But what's most exciting that I'd like to point out is that we have Pluto sitting in the 3rd degree of Aquarius. Like I said, it's been there for over a year at this point. And Pluto being the slowest moving planet in the solar system, it takes the longest to go through a sign. So in that year, it's only got to the 3rd degree. What's exciting about this week is that all of the planets that we have going into Aquarius are all going to make an exact conjunction with Pluto at that 3rd degree. So on Monday, January 19th, we have Mercury making a trine to Uranus. We have the Sun sextiling Neptune, the Sun entering into Aquarius, and then we have Venus at 3 degrees making a conjunction with Pluto at that 3rd degree. So the week starts with notable Mercury-Uranus synergy just after midnight, linking rational thought with innovation for sudden insights and breakthroughs. Later in the afternoon, the Capricorn Sun sextile to Neptune softens the atmosphere, blending practical goals with compassion and creativity. In the evening, the Sun enters Aquarius, shifting the solar atmosphere towards themes of community, progress, and individuality. Finally, later in the night, Venus meets Pluto in Aquarius at about 11 o'clock p.m. Intensifying feelings of relationships and finances. Expect deeper interactions and possibly power shifts in partnerships under this rare conjunction. So on Tuesday, January 20th, we have Saturn in Pisces making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. Then we have Mars in Capricorn making a trine to Uranus in Taurus. We have Mars in Capricorn also making a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. Then we have Mercury in Capricorn making a sextile to Neptune. Mercury enters Aquarius, and then the moon makes a square to Uranus. So overnight, a flurry of aspects perfects in quick succession on Tuesday. At 12:20 a.m., Saturn sextiles Uranus, a significant alignment that bridges stability and change, enabling constructive reforms. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear Kenny in the background over there. He's chewing on his toys. I just took one of his balls away because it was squeaking a couple of times, so I don't know if that was picked up by the video. If it is, then I will make sure next time not to let him have any of the squeaky toys. So only a few minutes after the Saturn-Uranus sextile, we also have Mars forming a trine to Uranus and a sextile to Saturn, all around 27 degrees of Capricorn, Mars, Pisces, Saturn, and Taurus, Uranus. This rare configuration energizes the atmosphere with initiative and discipline, facilitating bold action that respects limits. By 9:30 a.m., Mercury forms a sextile to Neptune, enhancing imaginative thinking and idealism in communications, sharpening our mental focus toward progressive ideas and group objectives. The day ends with an Aquarius moon squaring Uranus in Taurus, a jolting aspect that could bring unexpected evening events or a need to emotionally break from routine. The day ends with the Aquarius moon squaring Uranus in Taurus, a jolting aspect that could bring unexpected evening events or a need to emotionally break from routine. Anticipate some surprises or restlessness as Tuesday closes. On Wednesday, January 21st, we have the moon entering Pisces and we have the Mercury Cazimi at 1 degree of Aquarius. So the moon enters Pisces at 1:50 a.m. early in the morning, easing the tone from cerebral Aquarius into a more sensitive, flowing vibe. With the moon in Pisces, emotions and empathy rise. although focus may diffuse. The standout event today is a Sun-Mercury conjunction, known as a Cazimi, in Aquarius at 10:50 a.m. This signifies a moment of peak mental clarity and an illumination of ideas. This is the sun shining its light through the heart of Mercury, or Mercury being in the heart of the sun. This alignment, effectively Mercury's superior conjunction, marks a pivotal point for communications, plans, and announcements. Information revealed now can be especially significant. Hey Kenny, what's up, buddy? Aside from this, Wednesday carries a relatively calm influence. The Pisces moon makes no major aspects during the rest of the day, lending a contemplative, gentle atmosphere, ideal for assimilating the rapid changes of earlier in the week. All right, Thursday, January 22nd, we have the moon in Pisces trining Jupiter in Cancer, and we have the Mercury conjunct Pluto at 3 degrees. So the Pisces moon forms a smooth trine to Jupiter in Cancer at 11:40 a.m., encouraging generosity, emotional understanding, and expansive feelings. This water trine can boost supportiveness and optimism in late morning interactions. The most impactful transit today, however, is Mercury's conjunction with Pluto at 12:15 p.m. in Aquarius. Messenger Mercury meeting transformative Pluto brings deeply penetrating communication, conversations, or news may uncover unhidden information, probe taboo topics, or lead to important research breakthroughs. Words can carry extra power and consequences under this aspect, so communication should be direct and truthful. Aside from these influences, Thursday is relatively quiet on the cosmic front with no other major aspects. The prevailing mood is introspective yet growth-oriented as we process the intense changes of the week under the empathetic Pisces moon. So Friday is exceptionally eventful. This is Friday, January 23rd, because we have Mars in Capricorn sextiling Neptune in Pisces. We have Mars entering Aquarius, the moon in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces, the sun in Aquarius making its Cazimi with Pluto in Aquarius, which it will make every year for the next 20 years, 19 years. We have the moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And then we have the moon entering Aries shortly after that. Then the moon in Aries making a sextile with Mars in Aquarius, the moon making a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, and the moon making a sextile to the sun in Aquarius. So, and the moon moves pretty quickly. So being that everything's sitting in these first couple degrees of Aquarius, basically the moon can make it through all of them in one day. So first off, just before 2 a.m., we have Mars in Capricorn making a sextile with Neptune in Pisces, blending decisive action with compassion and vision, an aspect that softens aggression and channels energy into creative or spiritual pursuits. By 4:15 a.m., Mars exits Capricorn and enters Aquarius, redirecting our drive toward innovation and group endeavors. Shortly after, the waning Pisces moon conjoins Saturn at 4:30 a.m., an emotive reality check or moment of responsibility as it approaches the end of Pisces. Daybreak brings a powerful alignment. The sun conjoins Pluto, marking a Cazimi in Aquarius. This Pluto Cazimi exposes truth and empowers transformation on a collective and personal level. It's a catalyst for purging old power dynamics and embracing authority. And the thing with Pluto in Aquarius is that it lines up with the French Revolution and the American Revolution, and it has a lot to do with rebellion and this is part of innovation, and especially being a Saturnian sign, is that, again, Capricorn builds structures, Aquarius dismantles to rebuild new innovative ways. So the fact that we have this Cazimi coming through Pluto, and we have all of these rebellious events taking place across the world right now. So seeing all of these planets come into Aquarius at the same time to conjoin with Pluto probably is going to have an effect on all of that. Just after 8 a.m., we have the moon meeting Neptune in Pisces, a dreamy, reflective conjunction that enhances intuition. And then the moon immediately ingresses into Aries just before 8:30 a.m., ending its void of course and igniting a new emotional cycle. Once in Aries, the moon swiftly makes harmonious sextiles to Mars, Pluto, and the Sun, all now in early Aquarius. These afternoon sextiles infuse the day with enthusiasm, initiative, and cooperative spirit. Overall, Friday's pattern moves from a deeply reflective pre-dawn mood to an action-oriented initiatory energy by the afternoon. It's a day of major shifts. The emphasis pivots to Aquarius assertively, and the Aries moon's contacts ensure that fresh momentum carries into the weekend ahead. So for Saturday, January 24th, we basically just have the sun still in conjunction with Pluto, and we have the moon squaring Jupiter. So the intense conjunction in Aquarius between the sun and Pluto that's been going on remains in a dominating influence through Saturday, with the sun still within 1 degree of Pluto. Its themes of power, reform, and of deep transformation continue to unfold. The moon spends most of Saturday in bold Aries, keeping energy levels high and assertive. The only exact aspect today occurs at 4:30 p.m. when the Aries moon squares Jupiter in Cancer. This 90-degree tension can magnify emotions, confidence, or desires. There's a risk of overextending or reacting impulsively under the Aries influence. It's wise to watch for exaggeration or impatience around late afternoon. With no new major planetary aspects on Saturday, the cosmic weather is relatively straightforward, assertive and proactive, but requiring some temperance, the Moon-Jupiter square, to avoid going to extremes. The Aries moon then goes void of course for the evening and prepares to enter Taurus the next day, which will bring a grounding, calming effect. And void of course basically just means that there's no more aspects being made to the moon before it moves into its next sign. So this actually happens relatively often because the moon only takes 2.5 days to go from one sign to a next, or to transit through one full sign. So it's basically every 2.5 days when it's got no more aspects to make. So that brings us to Sunday, January 25th, which provides a breather as the week concludes. The moon remains in dynamic Aries through the morning, but with no major aspects. The first half of the day is a good time for independent activities or exercise to utilize the residual Aries drive. At 1 in the afternoon, the moon shifts into steady Taurus, signaling a palpable downshift in tempo. The Taurus moon brings a grounding, practical energy focused on comfort, security, and tangible matters, a welcome, stabilizing influence after an intense week. And the way to treat the Aries-Taurus moon transit, I find, as an Aries moon myself, I generally find that Aries moon energy is good for initiating projects or just jumping into ideas that you may have been thinking about. And then over that 2.5 day period, as that fire starts to temper and burn down, then you sort of just end up in this more steady paced Taurus energy for sort of stretching out those quick initiatory bursts into sort of long form projects, you know? No significant planetary transits perfect on Sunday, so the cosmic background is quite quiet. This makes Sunday afternoon and evening ideal for rest, recovery, and taking stock. Use this calm period to integrate the week's changes and recharge. Looking ahead, Neptune's momentous ingress into Aries occurs first thing Monday on the 26th of January. So this calm Sunday may feel like the stillness before a new tide. And that's really exciting because we've got a little bit of a taste of that over last year from March 29th, I believe, until about midsummer. And we had Neptune enter Aries for the first time, and then it retrograded back out into Pisces along with Saturn. So the big exciting transit that the couple of big exciting transits that we have coming up soon is, first we have the Neptune transit into Aries, which is big, and then we have the Saturn transit into Aries just a couple weeks later, and that's really exciting because that's going to bring a major conjunction of Neptune and Saturn, both in the very first degree of Aries, which Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. That means that Neptune and Saturn are both going to be making a conjunction at the very first degree of the zodiac, which hasn't been done in thousands of years. So it's really exciting to see what's going to happen in terms of that. But Neptune and Saturn, both, I mean, Aries, sorry, being a war sign, we can almost certainly expect that there's going to be some kind of intense conflict stirring up or some sort of clash, because that seems to be the theme of the era. So overall, this week packed a transformative punch, steering us out of Capricorn's terrain into Aquarian horizons. Monday began under new moon afterglow with Mercury and the Sun making cooperative links to Uranus and Neptune, then ushered in Aquarius season alongside an intense Venus-Pluto conjunction. Tuesday delivered a rare cocktail of late degree aspects: Saturn sextile Uranus, Mars trine Uranus, and Mars sextile Saturn, essentially blending structure with rebellion for constructive change. Midweek, both Mercury and Mars entered Aquarius, amplifying the week's theme of innovation and collective focus. We also saw Mercury and the Sun each align with Pluto on Thursday and on Friday, drawing emphasis to deep revelations and shifts in power or perspective. By week's end, the Aries moon kept momentum high before heading off to a ground Taurus moon on Sunday. In summary, January 19th to 25th, 2026 was a week of significant transition. Personal and social energies tilted decisively towards the future. New ideas, alliances, and frameworks gained traction under Aquarius influence, even as we confronted and shed lingering shadows from the past. Moving forward, the stage is set for the week's major milestones. Neptune's entrance into Aries, which will further propel us into a new astrological era. Stay adaptive and forward-thinking. The cosmos is clearly signaling that the time for progressive change is at hand. And before we get to that conjunction between Neptune and Aries, the last time that happened was around the rise of agriculture. So, I mean, we could see things like maybe AI comes in and takes over agriculture from this point forward. Or, I mean, who knows what we'll see. But we also have Uranus still floating around in retrograde in Taurus right now. So I think we're going to really see the AI explosion start to happen once Uranus sets itself steady in Gemini. So that's the week of January 19th to 25th. Oh, we also have the last few weeks here of the year of the snake, and we'll be heading forward into the year of the horse come February. So that's exciting as well. So if you like this astrology, if you like this video and you like what we're doing here, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps out a lot. We're looking to get the subscriber count up, and helps me to continue making these kinds of videos and up the production quality of these kinds of videos. So if you'd like to see that, then I would appreciate the support. So thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks a lot. Take care.